You know, storytelling has really been going on since, well, the beginning of time. And telling your children's stories is something that, well, my two daughters always say it was the thing that made them want to read. They loved bedtime stories, so I'm bearing that in mind, and I've written 7 stories, one for every night of the week. Writing for very young children is really interesting because they're at an age where anything is possible. They will believe anything. They have flights of fantasy, and it's lovely to encourage their imagination. And really, it's very important to give them the desire to read for themselves. And I think that's the thing that's given me most pleasure, is the feeling that I'm creating something that hopefully somewhere, some child is going to hear that story and they're going to think, oh my goodness, that's fabulous. I love that. That makes me want to read something for myself. The greatest thing about telling stories to very, very small children is that it sparks their imagination. It makes them think about other things, other people, and apart from giving them great pleasure, it makes them want to read for themselves. And that's one of the greatest gifts that you can have, is reading, because you can learn anything you want to if you can read. So I would love to think that the bedtime story is still a tradition, and people are still, when their tiny person in their life says, tell me a story, that you do. I know that my 2 daughters loved to have bedtime stories. And actually, Bryan and I would both, at various times, read a story. Bryan's stories were always quite disruptive, I remember. There would be lots of shrieking and laughing, but they would both say that those bedtime stories were some of their happiest memories, and they encouraged them to want to read for themselves. And that's a really great gift to give to your child. It's the story itself that inspires children. And I'm a great believer in storytelling. It's one of the nicest traditions that we can have. And it's something that not only gives you pleasure, actually, but it instigates in your child a desire to read, a desire to find out lots of different things, and it just gives them great pleasure. And that's a really nice thing to be doing. A bedtime story for the small person in your life, putting them to bed with happy thoughts. Really rather nice. Storytime. 7 short stories for the little person in your life. Written and read by me, Nanette Newman. Hope you like it.